Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 9, verses 30 through 41. So Jesus, after dealing with the impure spirit, gets away from the crowd. He's trying to spend time equipping and training the disciples, right? And they're in Galilee, and he's teaching them the gospel. And what is the gospel? That the Messiah is going to be delivered into the hands of men, into both the hands of the Jews and the Gentiles. And they will kill him, and after 3 days he will rise again. And this is an upsetting gospel, because it means that God is going to use death to overturn the death and the sin and the bondage of this world. And the disciples don't understand it, just like we often don't understand it, because we're experts in the law, achievement, and working really hard to be good instead of relying on God to do this work. And they're afraid to ask, just like they are so many times, they're just afraid to ask Jesus. And they come to Capernaum, which is sort of their home base. And when they're in the house, he asks them, "What were you arguing about on the way?" And of course, they don't want to tell Jesus because it's embarrassing of how egotistical they are, that they are trying to be religious, but it's still about themselves. And sitting down, Jesus calls the 12, and he says, "Anyone who wants to be first must be last and servant of all." Well, who models this for us? It's Jesus. Jesus is first of all. He is the Son of God. He is there at the beginning of, with the creation. He creates everything, and he empties himself of his glory to become one of us and to become a servant of all the way to the cross. So he models that for us. And then Jesus takes a little child whom he places in the midst, and he says, "If you want to know what the kingdom is like, here, whoever welcomes one of these little ones in my name welcomes me. If because you have faith in Christ, you welcome those who are little in the world, you're welcoming Jesus," right? That's what he's telling us. And if you can't welcome the little ones of the world, you have no part of his kingdom. And so he goes on, and John, James and John says, "Teacher, we saw someone driving out demons in your name, and we told him to stop because he's not one of us." Which is funny, because the disciples themselves couldn't drive out demons, even in Jesus' name, because they didn't do it with prayer and reliance. And Jesus says, "Don't stop him. For no one can do a miracle in my name in the next moment not praise me." Let's back up with that. If we are acting for the kingdom, right? We have no power to drive out demons without Jesus. You can't drive out demons without the power of Jesus. And it coincides that if you're driving out demons, that you also will be praising Christ and do his work. The two go together. There's no good works without faith. And so he goes on to say in verse 40, "For whoever is not against us is for us." But he's talking about those of faith. And then he says, "Truly I tell you, anyone who gives you a cup of water in my name because you belong to the Messiah will certainly not lose their reward." And so when we give a cup of water to the people of the family of God, when we seek them and bless them, not just because they belong to us, but more importantly, because they belong to God, we're blessing God's family. We are giving an offering to God. And if we bless those in the family of God, we will be blessed. And that's good news for all of us. Hey, if you're getting something out of the Daily Plunge, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and especially share this everywhere you can. Have a blessed day.